It definitely takes commitment and careful planning, and it's on the bucket list for many women. It can come with hard work and training, and sometimes with injury or setbacks. It can come with tears, smiles, and the opportunity to connect with a whole new group of women, sharing a common goal and a path to get there. Now, I'm not a natural born runner because it's totally evident when you see me out on the trail. And when I'm in a group, I'm in the back of the group, if not the last one in the group, but at least I'm out there while I can. If you're a woman over 40 or 50 and want to try a 5K, 10K, half marathon, or marathon, I hope you'll stay tuned today as I'm sharing my recommendations for anyone giving it a go and 5 key steps to help you next time you're giving it a go and hopefully out on the trail. I'll share my stories on my experience in my marathons and include my last one at age 55 in one of my favorite places. Thanks for joining me. I'm Wendy from Destination U on the Life Reimagined podcast, and I hope you're considering hitting the like button and following me and supporting the work we're doing to help women over 40 and 50 to get out there and go after more of their fun and bucket list adventures now. Today I'm talking about my experience, quote, running, unquote, the Moab Marathon and the 5 key steps I believe will help you if you decide to take on your first running event. So let's dive in. Now, I've been extremely fortunate to have attempted and completed 3 total marathons, and even when I swore I would only try it once. Now, each came with their own challenges, but each one also came with a ton of great stories and great memories. It doesn't have to be a marathon. I prefer the 5K and 10K and even the half marathons, and it doesn't really matter what distance you choose, because what matters is that you try. You don't even have to run. You can speed walk it or blend a bit of both. I ran my first marathon and today still run the shorter events, but taking on the Moab Marathon at 55 included a bit of running, a bit of walking, and a lot of speed walking. Now, my first attempted marathon was at age 38, and I love that I chose Disney. It was in 2005, and it was my first, and it's great for family and friends, as it's a great destination, and it's a great way to see all the parks with 50,000 other people all pounding the pavement towards the finish line. You get to take pictures with your Disney favorites, and it's a great one to do if you decide one is enough for you. You get a great commemorative medal, and although I was injured and thought I was only going to finish the half marathon, when I found out at the event venue that I would be earning a Donald Duck medal instead of my coveted Mickey Mouse medal, I decided I had to push through, go for the full, and go for my Mickey. I would walk as much as necessary, but I was going to give it my all. Today, I cherish my Mickey medal. Now, this one's typically every January, and they've expanded it to include a full marathon, a half, 5K, family run events, and the ultimate is a goofy challenge, aptly named because you take on all the running events over the weekend. My hat's off to those tackling the goofy challenge, as it's definitely one I don't currently have plans for. I swore I was going to do one and be done, and I had no other plans to change that until a close friend with a very scary health diagnosis asked me to help her complete one. Ugh, I had to do it. Now, the great news is this was in Hawaii, a beautiful location. Now, it's hot, but beautiful. It was 2017, and this was not only breaking my vow to not complete another marathon, but I was a bit older. Oy. This second attempt would be at the age of 50. I still had to train carefully and plan my food and drink really carefully for me, and now I also had to focus on helping my friend with this scary health diagnosis that brought along with it many more challenges. We had to identify, be ready for, and then successfully manage if we were to finish. I thought it might, and it totally felt much more difficult at age 50. It was tough, and we were both really hot and tired by mile 21. But again, we were out there giving it our best. We stayed as much as possible in the shade along the road and literally limped our way to the finish line. But we made it, and there was a huge emotional release of joy. Good tears. I'll never forget that day, how it felt along the course, how we kept talking ourselves into moving forward, and how we kept accomplishing our goal. My friend is no longer with us, but I'll always have the memory of that incredible journey and the finish line with me. It brings a smile to my face every time I look at the finisher's medal, and it's a beautiful way to honor my trip to Oahu and my close friend. And although I didn't think it was possible, I actually cherish my my Hawaii marathon medal a bit more than Mickey. Okay, so I was done. This was great. I did my 2 marathons. I convinced that was it for me, and I kept running with my gal friends, again, because it's my therapy, total addiction. And it was only when 2 of my closest friends challenged me to accept their invitation to join their first marathon and for me to attempt my 3rd. Are you kidding me? I have got to get some new friends. In addition to wanting to be part of the fun getaway and road trip with these incredible women, I wanted to join as they selected another one of my favorite places, Moab. And then the icing on the cake was that it had to be a trail run instead of on the concrete. Now, this is a huge difference for me at the age of 55, as it's much easier on my joints. My hips, knees, lower back, everything do much, much better on a trail run. So much so that I rarely, if ever, run on anything but a trail surface anymore. Now, if you haven't visited Moab yet, you just have to. It's incredible and so unique. And I'll take any opportunity to visit. And this time, even though it would take a bit more work, I was in. And the Moab Marathon did not disappoint. It was amazing. I again was planning to tackle the half, but switched a few weeks ahead to the full. And I'm so glad I did. The trail for the full marathon meanders through areas of Moab you cannot reach by car, only by hiking or mountain biking. So the participants, all those with me, were treated to the most spectacular scenery, keeping our mind in a very positive place. Me and my gals, we were on the bit mature side of the age of the rest of the group, with many more youngins in the starting area. I was able to keep up for a bit, but most of my uphill treks are speed walking instead of running, and so the youngins quickly kind of move out of my way, and I don't have to worry about them anymore. This trail event is absolutely a bucket lister, no matter if you tackle the 5, 10K, full marathon, or half. It doesn't matter. But it does have some rocky parts of the trail, so stay tuned as I'm going to share a bit of my recommendations in a moment. The Moab event is typically in November, which is an awesome time to visit this area, and the slots fill up early. So if you decide this is yours to tackle, sign up for alerts, and when the registration opens, quickly hop in. The same goes for lodging. It can be warm then, and you're definitely going to need some good sunscreen, a great hat, and a way to carry your water and your fuel. But to me, it was totally worth what I was able to experience, both on the trail and as a part of a wonderful family and friends getaway weekend. Now, if you decide to take on your first marathon or half, and especially if you've already celebrated your 40th birthday, or more importantly, your 50th or 60th birthday, I'm sharing what I think are the key steps, 5 steps for you to take on your first event. Now, quick disclaimer before I get started that none of this is to be attempted without proper planning and training, and this is not going to get you there. This is just going to get you started. So number 1, choose your event carefully. I recommend a few components of your first event that will help. The surface, terrain, route, and cutoff times. For anyone trying any of these events, running will take a toll on your body, and I recommend avoiding concrete if at all possible. Not only for the event, but also for your training. Trail and dirt are great surfaces, and if you don't have a lot of these near your home, look at parks, look at your school track options, and apps online like All Trails to see these other places in your community. What about the terrain and the route? Is it rocky? Is it flat? Is it hilly? Is it climbing up a mountain? Is it normally hot and humid or cold and rainy? Does it have cutoff times? Does this mean like if you get to a certain point and you don't make it there that you're done and they pull you off the course? These will all help you decide also what clothing and shoes are best for you. If you need a backpack with water, if you need to be able to carry a rain jacket, or a belt with your favorite bars or gels. Number 2, plan carefully and execute it. Having a training plan, you can find a ton online or check in with your local running store. They typically have running groups you can join regularly, and Although your plan has to include run training, it also has to include what your stomach will tolerate, food and drink wise, what clothing and shoes work best for you, and more. Not only do you have to set it up, but the bigger commitment then is to execute it. Know ahead of time that you will have days where you don't want to do the training. But if you have running buddies or a group and they expect you to show up on Tuesday and Thursday at 6 a.m., especially on mornings when it's cold outside and your bed is warm and comfy, having a group will make it a lot easier to stick with. Number 3, know your pace and what you can do for the length of the event, because only you can identify and learn your pace. Don't try to keep up with others. Use the person in front of you as a little rabbit to chase after, but walk at a speed or run at a speed and a pace that gets your heart rate up. It allows you to talk most of the time through it. I'm in a group and we go nowhere fast, but again, you get the side benefit of that free therapy session. Don't let your fear hold you back from trying a group. You may start out with them and eventually drop off the back, but over time you'll find the right people to run with. And slow doesn't matter. What matters is that you're out there. Step number 4, include rest and recovery as critical part of your preparation. Because at this age, what you eat and drink is important, but also knowing your body and making sure you're resting and recovering well. Sleep is very important, and there are other tools you can use to make recovery better, like Epsom salt baths, recovery drinks, and much more. Again, research online or ask the running store for advice versus going through trial and error and not feeling your best throughout the training and the preparation. And finally, number 5, enjoy the experience. Really immerse yourself in the prep and the actual event weekend. Enjoy literally every step and make memories along the way. I have the most wonderful, fun stories from spending time with the gals each week and stop for coffee after. But we also have fun road trips and weekends and shared housing and shared meals and cheering each other on. Make it a vacation and take a ton of photos and videos so you remember what it feels like and cherish every bit of it. I loved and recommend your trail running and getting out there and trying the Moab Marathon for a few reasons. So I hope you'll consider going after your first 5K, 10K, half, or full marathon, especially if it's on your bucket list. I hope my stories will help inspire you, and I hope these tips will get you started. I share more tips like this with my community, inspiring your next, and I set up private group trips and tours to these incredible places just like Moab. So thanks for joining. Don't forget, if you like this video, please hit the like and follow button, and then let me know how best I can help you get out there to go after more adventure, more fun, and way more memories and fulfillment.